People that are focusing on becoming a millionaire are focusing on the wrong thing. You should not be focusing on your net worth, because when you're measuring net worth, you're basically mainly measuring time. Because how does wealth work, right? Wealth accumulates over time. Wealth is the number of months or the number of years that you put in times the savings that you made each month or each year, right? So it's time times savings. If you simply just save and you play this for long enough, you will become wealthy. But the problem is we don't want to be rich and old, right? We want to be rich and young. 97% of millionaires in the US are above the age of 35. Only 3% achieve millionaire status below the age of 35. And why is that? It's because most people just focus on the savings part. I believe the most important thing to focus at is income. And that can be actively generated income via a job or via multiple jobs or via a company. That can also be passively generated income via investments or via trading, right? So levered income. But income is the real lever. Again, we've got time times income minus expenses, right? The savings, incomes minus expenses. So of course the time plays for you, but we don't want to wait forever. And reducing expenses has a limit to it, right? Reducing expenses initially, maybe reducing them by 10-20% is easy, but then reducing them again by another 10-20% becomes harder. And in the end, you simply just end up living a miserable life. And why do we want to become wealthy? Parts of it is to have a good life, not a miserable life. So what we actually have to focus on is not the expense part. What we actually have to focus on is the income part, right? We've got time times income minus expenses. So the only real lever that makes everything nice and shiny is getting the income up. Reducing expenses sucks, and waiting for decades and decades sucks as well. But there is the income part that changes. And income can be moved in all kinds of ways. Income can be moved by skilling up your personal self, right? By learning valuable skills that are in high demand, that people are willing to pay for. It can be by levering whatever you currently have, right? By having the capital working for you, right? If you currently have already saved 1 or 2 years of your income and you want to push this up to 3, 4, 5 years, maybe you should be learning how to properly invest, maybe not just passively in the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq 100, but potentially even actively if you've got the time. So there's all kinds of potential ways to do this, but the focus should not just be on reducing expenses. And this is where I disagree with a lot of other finance YouTubers, right? A lot of finance YouTubers simply tell you not to go to Starbucks, right? To instead make the coffee at home and to make your lunch boxes at home and all of that stuff. I don't think this is the right way to go about it. I think the real lever comes in income generation, because this is the nice thing about income. Income is relative. Income does not necessarily grow linearly. Income can grow exponentially if you have a scalable way to achieve the income. If you're trading, for example, right, very often you can scale this up to quite a degree if the market isn't super tiny small. So you can scale this up, and the more money you have, the more money you will make. The same is true for anything technology related, right? When you build a software that's been bought by many people, if you have a publication that's been bought by many people, if you've got something that is sold over the internet that can potentially reach everybody on the planet, you've also got something that's scalable. If you're only selling your own time, then you've got something that's not so scalable, and that's a problem.
This needs to go to 1 million, or March buyers now will make millions. This is how you get the clicks on YouTube, but this is not how you beat the market. To beat the market in crypto, you need to be better informed than the rest. You need to be better skilled than the rest. You need to do better blockchain analytics. You need to track other people's wallets and know what is the smart money doing. It's the boring educational content that forms skill that doesn't perform so well on YouTube though. That's why I created the premium membership. Feel free to check it out. We are tracking influencer wallets to find out what they are buying before promoting this on YouTube. We've got a lot of tutorials to help with on-chain analytics, to help with wallet discovery. And of course, there are also plenty of chats where we help each other, and also one-on-one conversations with me. So I'm messaging every premium member one-on-one directly. Once you're joining, you will get a message from me and you have the opportunity to directly pick my brain. Feel free to check it out, thebitcointrader.com. Link is down below.
What you want is that as you understand the market more, as you become more skilled, as you go higher and higher, relatively speaking, to other people in your niche, you want that your income grows super steeply the further you progress. At the beginning, it's okay to have low income, but at the end, this is where you want to have the real kicker. This is, I think, the key to it all. The key to financial freedom is not necessarily to wait until you're 60 and to slave away into retirement. The key is not to save on the Starbucks expense. The key is to be 100% focused on income. And that income should be scalable. And that's why investing, that's why trading is so nice. It is competitive. It is player versus player. But if you put in more hours than the average person, if you know other people that are already winners and you learn from them, if you're willing to do the things that most people aren't willing to do, then you can be among the few winners, right? This is how any market works. The winner takes most. So if you're just on the average, right? You're an average software engineer, you're an average entrepreneur, you will get below average results because, again, returns are not equally, nicely, normally distributed. Returns are very much concentrated in the few. And so you have to break through that barrier. You have to be among the few people that everybody wants to buy from. You have to actually be among the few people that are able to beat the market. It's not enough to be good. You have to be better than most others. So it's a comparative game, right? It's not a game of just quality. It's a game of being better. You can be a car company that makes nice cars. But if that other competitor makes slightly better cars for slightly lower prices, then your cars won't get sold at all, right? The profits go to the few people that outperform. And that's probably the reason why the majority of millionaires become millionaires that late. Because most people don't outperform enough to push up their income enough to become a millionaire early. Most people have to use the time leverage. They have to play the savings game for a long time. And most people might not be able to generate that much income, and so they have to look at the savings rate. But I believe the best is to put 100% brain power into the income generation, into becoming the best in your market, or at least become one of the best in your market, where you have a unique insight that most people don't have, where you have a unique value proposition that most people don't have, and where then, of course, people get real value out of your product. And so, a quick plug here again. Of course, this channel has its own product as well. It's the premium membership. This is where I share my wallet tracking, where other influencers are buying and selling, and we buy before their audience buys or sells. We also have on-chain analytics tools, right, where we check how many whales are in a certain asset, how many retail investors are in a certain asset. Is an asset manipulated, or does it get a lot of acquisition by the masses? And we've got all kinds of tools where we try to beat the crypto market. So this is where I specialize in. And of course, on top of that, we've also got Telegram chats. There's not just premium chats, there's also a public chat. The public chat is 100% free, so feel free to check that out. The link is down below. Looking forward to seeing you again. Feel free to give this a like to help the channel grow. Feel free to also subscribe. And so I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.